Okay, so in my recent video, I showed you guys how to make this painterly toon effect, which I really like. It's basically like those painted on textures that people make. I did that in a procedural effect, and I wanted to see some practical ways to use them. I experimented a bit. I tried to recreate this watermelon and a bunch of other textures as well, and I think I did a pretty good job at them. Here's the watermelon. Bro, it looks so cool, man. Let's move it around a little so you can see that it's procedural as well. Look at the shadows. Look at the shadows. Let me zoom in on the shadows. Look at that. Look at that. By the way, this green area, the shadow is actually like blue. I made it blue because in context of like the entire image, you can't really tell it's blue, you know? Your brain like automatically looks at it and thinks, well, it's a darker area of this green, but in reality it's blue. I also made it blue because it's supposed to be like it's supposed to like reflect off the plate a bit, and the plate is blue. So it gives a really painterly effect to it that I really like. Let's look at the watermelon, shall we? Okay, here's how the watermelon looks like. As you can see, the colors actually like react to the light. It's so cool, man. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at the blue and the greens just like growing and like going away and stuff like that, bro. Look at that. Look how cool that is. It literally looks like if I'm grabbing a paintbrush and rubbing over it with blue paint. That's so cool. We can even move the light source a bit. Brother, that looks so cool, man. I think this by far, I'm gonna show you like other three models I made as well, other three textures, but this one by far is like the best looking one in my opinion. Look at that. Look at that, bro. Okay, let's look at the shading tab. So for the watermelon, I have three textures. One is the base one, which is just this. I painted this in Krita. You can use Photoshop or whatever you like. The other is the dark one. Then we have the light texture. Now I thought that these textures weren't that saturated, so I added a hue thingy and changed the hue a bit bluish for this one and saturated it a bit because it looks better on the plate. That's like basic color theory. Like in context, it looks better, even though without context, it kind of really looks like blue paint. But with the context of it being a shadow and everything, it tricks your brain. Also, with the blue, it looks better in my opinion. Here's without the hue and saturation adjusted. Let me show you with this one. Like it looks good, but on a plate it wouldn't have looked as good in my opinion. Actually, I kind of like it like this a bit, but I wanted the shadow to be a bit bluer. That's why I added the hue and saturation thingy node. There's a lot you can do on like Blender alone to modify the textures, so you don't really have to make like 50 textures. I think with just modifying hue and saturation of the base texture, you can get a similar effect. In fact, let's try that out. Let's change the hue a bit. Hmm. Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Mm, yeah, something like this. Maybe you can, mess around with the hue and saturation if you don't want to like make 50 models, 50 textures. Here's the gray texture that I made. As you can see, for the flesh of the watermelon, I use a different painting technique so that it doesn't look like I had like brush strokes across. It made it look more realistic, like how you would paint like the flesh of the watermelon in real life. You wouldn't just go grab like the red brush and draw streaks across it. You know, you would sort of splatter painter across it. This was a bit this was a bit too light, so I made it run to hue and saturation to fix it a bit because it wasn't giving me the effect that I wanted. And I think the end product looks pretty good actually. Like that looks good, man. That looks good. I love this one. Oh, this. I really love how you can like physically see the paint strokes. I know I said this like before, but I really love that. Okay, now to the next model. Now for this one, I wanted to make something black and white, just to then figure out how to color it, how to shade it properly because it's really hard to figure out how to make white look like there's light on it and how to make black look like there's a shadow on it. And the trick to do that is you don't you don't use black and white. You use light blue and purple. Of course, you can use different colors as well. For example, you can also use a yellow color or like a light yellow color and a dark brown color for black and white. It depends on the settings and the mood you want to put and the mood you want to set. For this one, I just used blue. This is the light version, and this is the dark shadow version. Yeah, I think this is fantastic actually. Yeah, there's not much to this one. It's fairly simple compared to the others. Here's the texture for the checkered one for the box for the tiles. I wanted each tile to face like a different direction, because I want it to look like when you're painting it that you took like different colors and you went through like different strokes and stuff like that. That's how I wanted it to look like. And I think you can see like the different strokes in this one, not as much as the watermelon one. So yeah, it can be kind of difficult to figure out the right values to use. So it looks like the color, the paint is growing and stuff like that. But it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good looking. Okay, this is the piece. I really like the scratchy textures that I given it. It looks like it's been worn and used. This is the black piece. Yeah, I use the same textures. I just change the colors around. Also for this I didn't use the emission node or anything. I just plugged everything to a color ramp and then chose the color between those. And then I made it so that the lighter colors go on the right side and the darker colors go on the left side. It's kind of cool looking. Okay, so this is the third model I want to showcase. I wanted to add like some lines and some dots here and there just to see how they'd react. And I think it gives you a pretty cool effect actually. Yeah, here's the model turning around. Look at the lines. Look at the lines, how they grow and shrink. And I think there's a huge potential here. There's a huge potential here. Here's something cool that I found out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this cross section over here, right? Look at that. Look at that. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing how it's like growing and shrinking? Oh, that's huge. That's huge. You can basically make like those anime cross lines if you use your different colors. Of course, I used like the same color here. That's why they are growing and shrinking at the same time. But if you use like one color that goes a different way and the other color that goes a different way in different directions, you can basically imitate those anime shadow lines, cross section lines that they use to go to show like shadows and stuff, which is huge because I see a lot of like these anime renders, anime models, but they don't really do like those anime cross lines, and I think that's just a wasted potential. Or when they do that, it's like baked on the texture, so they don't really move with the model, or are affected by light, which I think it's a shame really. It ruins the effect. Also, look at the dots here. Look at the dots. They grow and shrink. Ah, that's huge, man. That's so huge, man. They grow and shrink. Haha, that's so cool, bro. That's so cool, man. Like you can have such interesting effects with this, man. You can have such interesting effects to your model with this. Like the dots are growing and shrinking. You can have like I don't know, dotted shadows or something like that. Or if you want to like give your character scales, you can do that as well. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool, man. Like I added like scales to the stem here. Maybe if I manipulate this, oh, maybe if I manipulate that, you can see the scales better. Yeah, look at that. Look at how the scales react. Like realistically, you make the scales a lighter color than the background. I made the scales darker, so that's why it looks like sunken ink. But if, in my opinion, if you make the scales lighter, then the background did look even better. Like the effect would be even better. Huh? But brother, look at that! Look at that! It literally looks like the light is going in and out. Like the scales have depth to them. Look at that! Basically, this is like a height map, no? Isn't this basically like what a height map does? But this doesn't like ruin your fucking computer. This doesn't like slow your computer down. Maybe a height map has like more detail or something like that. By the way, this is the texture of the apple. Really cool. The dots, they are like dot brushes you can use on your computer, bro. Like every program has a dot brush. Also, something I found out to make the process of making these different sections of the shadows easier to make is use like really contrasting colors, so you know where one color ends and the other color starts. Because when you're using similar colors, it gets kind of difficult to see where the one color starts and the other ends. Also, instead of constant, use cardinal, or use like a color, or use like something that's softer, because in my opinion it gives you a better effect. Like the bro, this is so pretty, man. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh man, this is so cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. God, I'm having so much fun with these models, and that's important. That's like the most important part is having fun. You know, making 3D stuff shouldn't be a hassle. Also, I am making an anime character. I'm not going to reveal who it is. It is from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'll apply the stuffs I learned from this one on that model. Like I'll give it a anime cross shading as well. It'll look so cool, man. So stay tuned for that one. I don't know how long it will take me to finish that one. I started it before, but I'm going to like restart the process, and that's like my problem. Instead of finishing something, I restart doing it, and then it just takes ages to finish something. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, bye, and thanks for watching.